Welcome back to Southwest Yard and Garden. I'm John White. Today we're going to be talking about ponds and some of the components that are needed to build a pond. And with me today is Mr. Todd Arnold, and Todd is the store manager with Ewing Irrigation here in Las Cruces. And Todd, tell us a little bit about ponds and what do we need to get started if we want to build a pond in a yard?
Well, John, the first thing you want to do is survey the area that you're going to put the pond in, because you don't want to get too big of a pond in an area or too small of a pond in an area.
Are there certain things that we need near the site that are kind of important to
Water and electricity would be real important. They do make pumps and lights that run off of solar power, but they're a little bit more expensive.
Okay. And if we're first putting our pond in, are we looking at a preformed pond, or are we going to do a free-form type of thing?
You can do it either way, depending on your situation and how big of a pond you want to have and what use you're going to have for it. They have the preformed poly ponds, which you basically would dig a hole the size of the pond to support the pond and make sure that it is supported well so it doesn't crack. Or you could use a EPDM pond liner. This one happens to be 45 mil, which is pretty much a standard you use on ponds. And it's very, very forgivable, it's very flexible, very durable.
Okay. And this has a life of?
About 20 years. It's warranted for 20 years. It would last much longer than that.
That's a pretty long-lasting item.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Now we got our liner in, have our hole or our contours dug, got our liner in. What's next?
One of the things you want to do is make it above the water line. You want to put your rocks in or concrete to hold your pond liner in place.
Okay.
Then you would move on to filtration and pumps.
Okay. And our box here is a filtration device?
Yes, it is. Actually, both of them are. This particular one is a skimmer, which would go in the lower part of the pond. It has a filter here. It also has a leaf basket that would catch all the leaves. You could clean it out. And it has a door in the front, which is fish friendly if you have fish.
Okay. And now if we were selecting a pump, of course the size of the pond means a lot.
Sure does. There's different size pumps. Some of them have filtration on them. This would be for just a pond that you would just have maybe a small fountain that would spray water out on top of the water. This would be something you would use for a small pond that didn't have a skimmer or anything on it. Then you have the large ones. They start from 200 gallons per hour all the way up to 10,000 gallons per hour plus.
Pretty good sized pond.
Pretty good sized pond, that's right.
All right. And then for a device like this pump will go inside it. Filtration will help to keep solid materials out of the pump.
That's
so
right.
It's pumping more clean water, so to speak.
Right.
And if you were going to have a waterfall device or take a line out to a fountain or something, you'd be using something like this?
Correct. You would install your pump down inside the skimmer, and then your hoses would come out and go up to your pre-falls, which is right over here.
Okay. Have a nice imitation rock top there to kind of hide it.
Then your water would just be pumped in through the bottom and come right out the top, on top of a decorative type rock like this.
Okay.
So it helps hide it. You could concrete that in or just put dirt around it.
Okay. So this one would be a higher elevation.
Yes, sir.
Water will come out of this, be pumped up to this one.
Correct.
This will fill and then overflow onto a splash plate or a piece of flagstone, whatever you want.
That's right.
And it just recirculates that way.
That's right. And depending on how far the water falls, you'll get different noises from the water. You can drown out noises such as street noise.
Okay.
You can do a lot of different things.
I see we have also some accessories that we can add to the pond to make it even a little fancier.
That's right. There are lights that you can put right in the bottom. There's commercial grade high-end lights or light commercial residential lights. They also have different colored lenses you could add to them for different effects.
Okay. Well, it looks like we've got quite a few pieces here. In a future show, we want to show viewers how all this fits together, and they can actually see an installation and learn a little bit about the operation of a pond and how to care and maintain for a pond once you've got it in.
Right.
So Todd, thank you very much for being on Southwest Yard and Garden.
Thank you, John. I enjoyed it.